This morning, Tom has gone to the grocery store. So we're a little bit early because I have to kind of time this around Bjj's nap, which is exciting. But we're going to do a brief warm-up, and then we're going to get started on our workout for the day. It's a little bit shorter than it has been because we've been doing some really tough workouts, and I've ramped it back a little bit so that we can restart again on Monday. I'm going to turn the heat off, actually, because it's nice and warm already. And then, so let's get started with some stretching. Obviously, stretch whatever you feel like, but I am going to do some hamstrings. So let's start on all fours. I was really enjoying the other night when we did our yoga for BJJ kind of warm up. These warm ups for your wrists and hands and shoulders. So we can do some scapular push-ups, which is dropping down into your cat and then pushing through into the cow pose. You can kind of see all of this rotation should come from your shoulders. Feels really nice, especially on like if you have a tight neck. I'm feeling really tight from like stress and just being miserable, locked up. So we'll do a couple of these. Make sure you drop the whole range of movement. Also, if you're hearing beeping, it's the stupid baby monitor. It won't stay connected for some reason, and it's driving me completely nuts. Okay, I'm going to do my wrists here as well. Again, you should stretch what is bothering you. My wrists are really, really bothering me for some reason, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start here and just kind of move back and forth. Bring them a little bit closer. During our yoga session, Jez said to make sure you're trying to peel your elbows to the outside so that you can kind of see the inside of your elbows. You can bring your wrists together if you want to. You can turn them around and do the same thing. I suspect that it's all this lapel guard Tom and I have been doing that's bothering my wrists here. But who knows? Okay. All right. Let's push up into our downward dog here. You can kind of bend your, pedal your feet back and forth, or you can do this variation we were doing where you bend your knees and bring your chest in, or your belly in, and straighten. I like to do this one because it kind of helps me stretch my feet too. Okay. Try and pull your chest back towards your hamstrings. Reach up, step into your lunge. And again, you can pull back here like Tom does, but like I said before, I find that very uncomfortable on my knees. So I'm going to lean back into this position. I might have to go fix that thing because it's driving me nuts. Keep going. I would also like to be able to see my child if she decides to crawl out of the cot, which is looking more and more likely by the day because she's a little monkey. Back. Okay, and back to our downward dog. Again, pedaling your feet a little bit. Let's get that other leg going. Oh, this one's tighter. Step forward. Stretch around in the lunge a little bit, and then again, you can straighten your front leg if you want, or you can drop your back leg and stretch down this way. You're not going to get as much stretching out of me as you're going to get out of Tom, but we'll do a little bit. Okay, now back to your downward dog. Again, you're pedaling your ankles a little bit. So we're going to do some calf raises today. So I'm going to sit down and warm up my ankles a little bit. So when I was in ballet for years and gymnastics, this was one of the best ways to warm up ankles that I learned. It's basically you're just trying to like toe hold yourself and rotate your ankle through the whole range of motion. You can pick your leg up if you want, but you're trying to eliminate movement in your shin here, so that all you're doing is using your hand to rotate your ankle and not your actual muscles there. You want just to feel this kind of movement without actually moving your muscles. So again, if you can twist your foot, pull it, try and like put yourself in a toe hold. Don't pull too hard, obviously. Give it some rotation. Do the other side. So I've been noticing with Fia, as she crawls around, she can pull her toes almost all the way back to her shins. And Tom and I have been debating about whether or not that's how adults should move, or if as you grow up you're supposed to get stiffer. Okay, so the other side now, just rotating your ankles around. Again, try not to use your muscles to do this. It's hard, especially when you're pulling back this way. So for our workout today, I guess I'll talk about some crunchies in there. Okay. For our workout today, we've got a 10-minute AMRAP and then a 5-minute every minute on the minute. So the last one I'm going to do here is I'm going to sit back on my toes and stretch my feet a little bit. I feel really, lately, like I was saying with my wrists, I'm feeling really tight in the bottom of my feet. So this is a really good way to stretch your toes and stretch the bottoms of your feet. So you're going to put your feet on the mat or your toes on there, doing jiu-jitsu, and then sit back. You can put your hands on the floor if you want to. You can put your hands on your heels. You can lean back even further for like a quad stretch as well. But for me, this is just, I feel it in my toes, and it's a really good way to start warming up your feet. So anyway, we've got an AMRAP, a 10-minute AMRAP. We've got 10 leg lifts, 10 curtsey lunges per side, 5 skater squats per side, 10 glute bridges per leg, and 30 calf raises. So there's 5 exercises in the AMRAP. They're all legs, which should be fine because we did not do any legs yesterday. So take this time and stretch anything that is not warm. I'm just going to stretch my hamstring really fast because it's injured. So take this time, stretch whatever you need. I'm just going to pull my hamstring here a little bit with a belt. You can do this as well. It feels nice. I find that the way Tom does it, wrapping the belt around his head, actually just puts a lot of pressure on my neck. So you can do that if you'd like, but I haven't mastered that technique yet. I imagine it's probably more helpful if you're not very flexible and can have a hard time getting your leg up to 90 degrees, but I don't think there's any problem with just pulling the belt like this. When you're ready, you can switch. Hamstrings, man, they're a problem. Everything just seems all out of sorts because I'm not training as much jiu-jitsu as I'd like to be. That'll do. Okay, so we've got our 10-minute AMRAP. I'm sorry that I rushed through our stretching. I'll probably rush through it at the end as well because, like I said, Tom's at the grocery store and somebody has to supervise the baby to make sure that she doesn't die. So, leg lifts. We're doing these ones. Okay, if you want to hold on to a chair, hold on to something over your head, you can do that. If you have a partner, you're doing this with a partner, you can do leg lift throwdowns for something different. I'm starting to feel like I would take anything out of the ordinary at this point because I'm just getting so bored. Then we've got curtsey lunges. We've done these before. So foot comes behind you and then knees open wide. Feel like you're doing a curtsey. Okay. And then skater squats. Skater squats are similar to pistol squats, except you're just touching your knee down behind you instead of single leg squatting to the front. So from here, I'm touching my knee down to the floor and standing back up. Those are really good for guard pulling, any kind of like single leg movement. Glute bridges, we've done these feels like a bajillion times. We're doing single legs and 10 on each side, and then calf raises. So when you do calf raises, I've always learned that you don't put your heels on the floor. You're working through that upper range of movement, trying to come up onto your toes from like, not from this flat-footed position. It's actually kind of hard to tell because there's a big lump in the mat right there. So from here, I'm trying to stay up on my toes and balance through that elevated range of movement. So those are our exercises. They're all 10 per side except for the skater squats, which are 5, and the calf raises, which are 30. You can also do your calf raises with a kettlebell, which I might do today. What do I have? I've got 12 kilos. We'll see if I'm feeling inspired. It's Friday. I might be inspired, I might not be. So let's see if I can get my head in shot. Which would be nice. And I've got my timer here. Again, 10-minute AMRAP. Oh, let's go over the second bit as well. You can tell I'm not quite awake yet. So our second bit is an every minute on the minute for 5 minutes. So it's packed pretty full. So we've got drop steps. We've done these a million times as well. 10 of those per side. And we've got tuck sits, which are these. You can do them with or without your hands. And then hip heist, which is half a technical stand-up. And we're going to do 5. So for those, I would recommend doing 5 on one side, not switching sides, and then switch to your other side in the next round, rather than trying to switch sides because you're going to run out of time. Obviously, do what you want. If you think you can finish, then do that. Let's see. Turn my... Okay. So let me... I don't want to do 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Leg lifts, curtsey lunges, skater squats, glute bridges, and calf raises. I will forget that at some point. We're going to do our best. All right, let's get ready and let's go. Start with some leg lifts. Okay. So I guess the good thing about all of this is that I've had some time to get some ab strength back, which is nice. Okay, now we've got our skater squats. I have no idea why these are called skater squats. Somebody asked me. Okay. Okay, so that's about so that's about 2 minutes per round. At least we don't have to hear Tom complain about his calves all week. For some reason, whenever we do calf raises, that's all I hear about for the next week is Tom's calves. His calves hurt. His calves hurt. Okay, skater squats. Whoop. That was unsuccessful. Yeah. We do have a different problem though. Tom's birthday is in 2 weeks, and I have no idea how I'm even gonna manage to get a birthday gift here, let alone enough flour to make a cake. All right. Quarantine problems. Yeah, his birthday's on the 15th, and he's been having a bit of a meltdown because he's going to be Master 3. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes in. Okay, oh, skater squats. This is still forgetting that exists. Whoop. And back to the I'm finding with this one, it's hard to move very fast through the exercises, but again, that's okay. You don't have to speed through. It's Friday. Keep walking these from my mind. If you have a chair or something, or a stability ball, there's so many different glute bridge variations you can do, and you should. We don't have a stability ball or a chair that's dry, but if you have access to those things, you absolutely should start to do some variations on those exercises. You can find lots of them on Instagram, on YouTube, just to get some variation into your workout. I'm trying to include them, but we have limited access to equipment, even a chair. Our chairs are all outside chairs, so since it's been raining, can't bring them in here. You guys missed out on chair dips this week because of that. Okay, I've got 50 seconds left, so let's get through. All right, and that's time for me. I got through 4 rounds, and let's see, what is that? 27 and 27 reps. Okay. So our next exercise is an every minute on the minute. So we've done a few of these. We did one last week that was really brutal. But so our exercises for this every minute on the minute, again, our drop steps, which are here, and 10 of those per side. So you can just count them 1, 1. Okay. We've got tuck sits. We've got 10 of those, which are here. And again, you can do these with your hands on the floor. If you're like me and you're still rehabbing your core, or you can do them here. Okay, I find that much more difficult. And then hip heist. Like I said, I would recommend doing your hip heist all on one side as fast as you can, and then switching to the other side for the next round. But if you really want to challenge, you can hip heist and switch. Okay, entirely up to you. I'm probably going to do them all on one side. It reduces the impact on my wrists, and I'm having some wrist troubles. So every minute on the minute, 5 minutes. This combination of exercises moves through standing all the way down to sitting and restanding. So you should be moving through a bunch of different like planes of movement, which is one of the things that makes jiu-jitsu so exhausting, especially on top. You're moving from like a standing position all the way through to like this low bear crawl, even into like even lower positions. So doing workouts like this doesn't perfectly replicate jiu-jitsu, but it does a decent enough job that you won't lose all of your stamina while you're not training. Obviously, nothing is as good for jiu-jitsu as jiu-jitsu is, but we can't always have what we want, I suppose. So we've got 5 minutes today, short. Again, today's workout is supposed to be short. It's supposed to be just kind of give you a burst of energy. It's not supposed to be completely fatiguing because we've done all the work over the week to fatigue you out. So we are going to get started because I'm just that tired. I'm going to look at the exercises again and make sure I know what I'm doing. And okay, so let's get started. All right, so that took me about 30 seconds the first round. I'm sure I will slow down as time goes on, but like I said, work to get through those exercises as fast as you can and get ready to go for the next ones. So I've got 10 seconds left of my break. Push yourself as hard as you can through this round because it's very short and there's no reason not to. You're done after this. 2, 1. Okay, that's my second round done. Again, if you're feeling really good today or you didn't get to work out yesterday or whatever it is, you can obviously do another round of this and it'll push you, more than twice as hard, I'd say. So I've got 10 seconds left. I'm finishing these with about 29, 28 seconds left. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay. So I finished that one with exactly 30 seconds left. Like I said, with those hip heists, feel free to switch sides. I'm not, because all of that posting is really starting to wear on my wrists. 15 seconds. It's these last few pregnancy pounds, man, they're killing me. They're killing my joints. I can't move like I like to. Okay. So 2, 1, and we're off. So if you aren't here for post-pregnancy chat, I'm sorry, but it's just it's crazy how much it impacts your body in the long run, even after you get back to like a normal weight. Got 10 seconds left. Okay, so 5. I think this is our last round. So let's go even faster. Okay. Oh, I did. I managed 25 seconds that time. So I'll let the time run out for anybody who's still going. Then we'll do some stretching and we'll call it there. 15 seconds left in that round for anybody who's still working. And time. All right, nice job, guys. So let's start our stretching in our child's pose. So just open your knees and then sink down into your child's pose here as low as you can get and still be comfortable. You can kind of like shake around to kind of, that child better not be awake. That's all I have to say about that. So move around in your hips and try and sink your chest down nice and low. You can just wait here for a second. This always feels really nice on like every part of my body. And try and actively stretch your fingers away. That will pull everything in your shoulders as well. And just kind of move around. Reach as far as you can with your hands. You can start to reach side to side if you want. I find that this is actually just a much better stretch in like everything here. And you don't want to start to lean forward in your child's pose. You want to pull your hips actively back onto your heels so that you're stretching everything in your upper back and your hips. Then when you're ready, let's come into this 90-90 stretch. So I learned something during our mobility yoga session. So when I used to do this stretch, I let my knee come to the outside just because that's kind of where it naturally falls. But just by pulling my leg in so that it's flush with my body and then not letting this one get too far behind me, just pulling it up here, I'm able to stretch my hip much more effectively. So we're going to stretch down over the top here. Bring your chest nice and low and your head down. Try not to let your foot fold in towards your body. Actively pull your toes up. Breathe a couple big breaths here. And we're going to reach over this leg again. If you can't keep your chest down, you want to pull it down and just reach as far as you can. Active fingers when you're stretching. Don't just flop your hands to the floor. This will help you reach even further into the stretch. Yoga fingers. Okay, now sit up. And so let's try and lift our front leg. I'm not very good at it. If you can, pull your heel up. I'm working on it. I'm not very good at it yet. Put it back down. Let's lift the back leg up. Try and hold it for 10 seconds. If it cramps, put it down. And now let's stretch back to the front again. Should feel a little bit looser in your hip. To the side. Again, only go down as far as you can. Now, back up. Let's switch sides. So it's nice to have the video because I can kind of see my positioning a little bit better. So there we go. So now stretching down in front. Active fingers, active toes. You can kind of wiggle around in the stretch to make sure that you're finding the bits that hurt, stretching those. Let's go over to the side now. And this side, this way hurts a lot worse. I think it's all the lasso. So if you play a lot of lasso and you have a preferred side, you might find that one of these sides is like really pinchy. And it's this one. And when you're happy, come up and lift your front leg up. Again, I'm not very good at it. Try and lift it flat. I can't do it. I'm trying, doing our best. Pop it down after a few seconds. Try and lift the back one. Try and hold it for 10 seconds if you can without it cramping. Drop it down, and then back down in front. All right. So, what time is it? Oh, that baby. She's killing me. She's on a sleep strike. Luckily she sleeps at night, but man, she just has the worst baby FOMO of any baby I've ever met. You put her down and she thinks that you're just having a party without her and refuses to nap. Okay, so enough about the baby. We're going to cross our ankle over our knee, and then we're going to reach under. You can reach over. I like to reach under because it'll give me a little bit more leverage to pull my leg in. You can bend this leg. It's all up to you. Now, once you pull the leg in, pull your toes back, and that will give you a really nice stretch in your butt. So pull this in as hard as you can. Sometimes I have a hard time getting a good enough stretch, so you might have to pull the actual knee in like this. It's just entirely up to you how flexible and how mobile you are at any given point in time. But again, try not to let your toes go floppy. Pull them back. It will help. Breathe in a couple times. Again, if all you can do is go here, you can pull on your foot this way. Don't pull just your knee because that won't do anything. Make sure you're trying to pull your whole foot in towards you. So this, again, is really dependent on your flexibility. And if you're having knee pain, just don't do this. Okay. So then we're going to switch sides. Again, pull your knee open. Pull your other knee into your chest. Toes come back. You can start to pull in. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to work before I have to go up and get that silly little nugget is our like pike or forward fold. So if you were in the mobility for BJJ class, we did a lot of work on this, and I felt really good afterwards. But I'm just going to do the one that we've been working with Tom because we're kind of limited on time. Otherwise, maybe she's 7 months old. She's trying to crawl out of her crib, and I don't understand what I did to deserve an escape artist. Okay, so our hands go up. We're gonna reach forward, and we're trying to reach past your what are those feet? Your feet. Reach past them, and you can kind of pulse and try to keep your knees straight. If you have to bend them a little bit, I would try and keep them straight and bend less at the waist instead, because eventually you're going to have to improve your mobility behind your knees and learn to get your legs straight. The last thing you want while you're training is to accidentally walk out a leg and not have the essentially the flexibility to lock your leg out. So you want to really work to be able to straighten your legs even if you can't yet. It takes active flexibility and active like muscle compression to do it. So now stretch past. You can do, I don't know, how many do we usually do? 30, right? You do 30 of those. Try to pull your belly button down towards your thighs. Toes are freezing. When you're done with that, let's stand up. And then I'm just going to do like a yoga forward fold hang because it always feels really good on my neck. And if you are like me and you carry like stress in your neck and your upper back, this can be just a really good way to take the pressure off if you don't have like a bar to hang from, which is my favorite way. So you're going to put your pinkies in your, like your, what is this? Your elbow pit. Okay? So put your pinkies in your elbow pit, and then you're going to just fall forward. You're going to flop. You can keep a soft bend in your knee because that's not so much what we're doing here. You're flopping your head and your upper back, and your arms should be holding their own weight so they're not like flop down. This pulls on your shoulders a little bit. You pull on your head, and you can kind of swing back and forth here. And I find this feels really, really nice when my upper back and my neck and like my shoulders are tight. And essentially you want to be like a rag doll in your back and shoulders. And you can swing. And again, you can bend your knees because this isn't about your hamstrings or your lower back. This is all about just removing the tension that you're carrying in your neck and your shoulders. So be floppy. And just let the weight of gravity pull everything kind of, I don't want to say back into place, but essentially back into place. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that's the baby talking to me, trying to get me to come and let her out of baby jail. She still has a few minutes in there, I think, but pretty soon. She started trying to stand up using the dog, and no matter how many times I explain to her that the dog's gonna move and she's gonna fall over, she just keeps doing it. So I guess that nature's gonna take its course and she's gonna eat it on the floor at least a couple times before she figures it out. So that was our workout for today. A little bit shorter than usual, although somehow I've managed to go for 44 minutes. So the workout itself was a little bit shorter, but we did some stretching. I hope everybody's feeling all right.